Hey you, the beautiful woman on the other side of this screen, give me your hand and I'm going to hold your hand while I tell you this. It is never too late to start life over. I don't care if you're almost 40, in your 70s or 80s, even if you're a young teen still trying to find her way. You're called to start life over. It's time to obey that calling. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's get it. Chrissy here once again. I hope you guys have been doing well and staying safe. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to be back in front of the camera. I miss y'all so much. We got a lot to catch you guys up on. We got some life updates, so we're gonna go ahead and hop right into it. But first things first, if you are new here, hey girl, hey, and welcome. My name is Chrissy and I am your digital homegirl, here to help women level up in motherhood, childbirth, and overall wellness. Of course, if you've been here all these years, you know I love you, girl. So let's hop into it. So Troy is napping behind me and it's also storming outside because we've been having some wicked storms here in Texas. My heart and prayers go out to the families and loved ones of those lost and impacted by what happened in the Hill Country area during 4th of July weekend. I can leave some resources down in the description box if you guys want to help out in any way possible. So as you guys can see from the title, yes, I am going back to school to become a midwife. Yes, y'all. Oh my gosh. When I say it feels so weird saying that out loud, you know when you pray about something and you've kind of just kept it to yourself for so long, you know, it's something that God has been pushing you to do or calling you to do. And it's like now that you're at that point where you're actually about to do it and you say it out loud, you're like, wow, like this is like really happening. I'm gonna lie, I'm a little confused. I'm a little bamboozled. I'm just like, God, why? I'll talk about my educational journey in just a few seconds, but I'm like, God, I am about to be 37 this year. I am a stay-at-home mom / work from home mom because I'm a content creator / blogger, influencer. So I have my birthing business. Why at this point in my life would I go back to school? Why would I want to accumulate more debt? Why? Do I even have the brain cells anymore to go to school? It's been so long since I've studied that I don't even know if I have enough brain cells to retain a lot of information anymore. But here we are. So let's talk about it. If you guys have been following me for a long time now, you guys know that I got my master's degree in 2014. So I got my master's degree at Bowie State back in Maryland, and I have been done with school since 2014. I've been doing content creation this whole time. I'm a creative entrepreneur because obviously I make money from doing what I do, which is such a blessing, especially as a stay-at-home wife and mom. And so that's been my full-time baby. Now fast forward in 2022, when I was pregnant with my third child. Going through that pregnancy, I just learned so much about maternal health care, Black maternal health care, the healthcare system along the border where I was at when I gave birth to my baby. Learning so much about childbirth because keep in mind, I mean, I have 3 children, and so each experience was different. But my third one was different because I gave birth in a whole different city, a whole different state, a whole different healthcare system, but it's still a part of the American healthcare system, if you know what I mean. Advocating for myself, making my concerns heard, my concerns known, all the things how I wanted my birth to go, blase. I just realized how important it was to advocate for myself. I didn't have a doula, but I did have a midwife, which I'll talk about in just a second. Just from that experience, I just gained this passion and love for childbirth and educating women on how to advocate for yourself, to make your concerns heard and known, making childbirth beautiful again. Because, you know, when we talk about childbirth, although us as women, we were called to bring forth life. We were called to bring forth life onto this earthly realm. Sadly, sometimes, in some cases, women tend to lose their life in the process of bringing forth life. It just breaks my heart to know that that is the reality of childbirth. You know what I'm saying? So when I was 8 months pregnant, I got my certification to be a doula. And then a couple of months later, I wanted to educate women on the importance of, you know, childbirth and pregnancy and postpartum and stuff like that, because I feel like women need to not only be prepared for childbirth, but you also need to be educated on childbirth, you know, learning about the different trimesters, about what they all consist of. It's not only about preparing for childbirth, but also learning and educating yourself on childbirth, pregnancy, and postpartum. Became a childbirth educator. As for now, I moved and I'm in Austin now. Before I moved, trying to build my clientele, I would get consultations, I would talk to people, people will reach out like, oh yeah, business is about to be booming. Basically with my busy schedule with my kids and stuff like that, I really couldn't commit to doulaing like I wanted to. There's some people couldn't afford doula services or their insurance didn't cover it. I kind of put my doula side of things on the back burner until I could figure out how I can serve women when it comes to pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum and stuff like that. Just after some praying, soul searching, because I just feel this passion. I have 2 degrees. I thought I was going to be this. I thought I was going to be that. But the one thing I never lost my passion for or lost touch of wanting to pursue is anything pertaining to motherhood, whether it's pregnancy, childbirth, postpartum, anything pertaining to motherhood. That's always been my passion, because as a mom, I love being a mom. I was very, very, very fortunate and very blessed to have 3 healthy natural births. And I just learned so much on that journey. Just going into my appointments, it's like, okay, check your cervix, check your belly, this, that. But it's like, I always had to ask questions. I had to always educate myself. I had to do research. And it's like, why should we come into these appointments and get surface level answers when there's so much more that we could be learning and doing to take better care of ourselves while pregnant, so that way we can have a healthy pregnancy. When it's time for labor, I'm well educated on these things. I'm well educated, interventions and the options that I have if a natural birth doesn't go as planned. I don't know, it feels like sometimes, especially as a Black woman, it's like we have to be the ones to advocate for ourselves. We have to be the ones asking questions and being in the know of things, because who else is going to tell us? So why do I want to pursue midwifery at this point in my life, girl? I'm so glad you asked. So I want to pursue midwifery because I want to be hands-on with the moms and their families from the beginning. So as a doula, you serve your moms and their family towards the end of their pregnancy. So you'll do your consultation at 35, 36 weeks. And then, you'll go to their appointments if you choose to. You're staying in the know of their process and everything. Then you are there for their labor, depending if you're a postpartum doula or just, an extension of the service from the childbirth. Then you're with them for postpartum, but that's it. Me, I want to be there from the beginning. You pee on that stick and you got a positive. Oh, come here. Come on. We're going on this journey together. Love being a doula, and I love what we do, because the doula, if you don't know, is a woman that serves. So we are serving women, providing emotional and physical support for moms during childbirth and postpartum and all of that. And maybe it's the state that I'm in. Y'all know I live in Texas, but they still don't take doulas seriously. There are still hospitals that won't allow doula services. There are still birthing centers that don't allow doulas. When it comes to insurance, there are women that are on Medicaid. There are women with private insurances. If that doula doesn't qualify to accept those insurances and the moms are required to pay out of pocket, it can be a financial burden on them, and they might not want to have a doula because they can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Although people are being more aware of doulas and, they're starting to know what a doula is, and a lot of women are benefiting from having a doula because the numbers don't lie. Like cousin Yo Gotti said, the numbers don't lie, okay? At the same time, it feels like doulas aren't being taken seriously because we aren't technically medical professionals. And I get it, but it still sucks. Okay. I want to be there from the beginning. Like, you pee on that stick, you come to your appointment, we're going on this journey together. I want to know all your concerns. I want to know all your medical history, because in the end of the day, you have to be in the know of the history, because things might pop up down the line, and knowing certain things will make sense as to why you're feeling like this or why the baby is like this. You know what I'm saying? I want to measure the bellies. I want to watch you go from having no belly to a belly. I just want to do all those things, but it's a process. So there are different types of midwives, and there are different paths to midwifery. So you have a certified midwife, have a licensed midwife, have a certified professional midwife, certified nurse midwife. I'm sorry, I've been talking for 20 minutes now, but I can do a video on the different paths and the different types of midwives and how to go along that path. But y'all, I am embarking on a long journey, and that is to become a certified nurse midwife. Chrissy, what? Do you know how long? I know, sis. I know, sis. I know. You know, as Christians, we're told not to question God and not to question his plan. I am a Jeremiah 29:11 type of girly, okay? Whenever I decide to get a tattoo, that's gonna be my first tattoo, is Jeremiah 29:11. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end. I'm going back to school to become a nurse. Yes, I'm going to become a registered nurse first, and then Lord's willing, I will become a labor and delivery nurse straight after I pass the NCLEX and all of that. You have to do that for a year or two, and then I'll get accepted into my midwifery program. At that point, I would decide if I want to just do the master program or do I want to go all the way. Because that's why I'm kind of excited about this journey, because if I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to become a nurse midwife, I want to get all the education. I want to go all the way in. Do I want to be back in debt? Absolutely not. But if I'm going to do this and go all the way in, I want to be as knowledgeable as possible. I want to be well equipped, because these are people's lives. There's no shortcut, okay? Even if I would have went like the CPM route. So if you go the CPM route, from my understanding, you go through an apprenticeship or you go to a midwifery school. You go through that program, but it's still like 3 years. So you're still going to be in school for a while. So on certain paths to midwifery, only do home births, you can do birthing centers, but you cannot do hospital. This route that I feel I'm called to go on, the CNM route, I will be able to work in hospital. So at first, I did not want to do hospitals at all. Unless God has other plans. I believe we're done having children, but I will mourn the feeling of never having a home birth. Like, I always wanted a water birth, home birth, never had that opportunity. I had all my children in the hospital. I don't like needles. I don't like hospitals and stuff like that. Unfortunately, when it comes to maternal health care, especially Black maternal health care, you know where a lot of these issues are being ignored and swept under the rug, or these women are dying at? In the hospital. That is where I'm called to be. That's where I'm called to be. And so that's why I want to go all out, balls out, because I don't want to put limits on what I am capable of doing on this path. You have to be a CNM to practice in all 50 states. If you're a midwife, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if that's correct. But from my research and just talking to other women, you go one path, you are limited. My understanding, if you're a CNM, then you can do midwifery in all 50 states because you have your nursing background and all of that. But before we focus too far out in the future, we need to focus on what we're doing now. So right now, I have started my prerequisite classes. I was looking at my transcript. Y'all, I have not looked at my undergrad transcript in years. I have not looked at my transcript in God knows how long. And you can tell freshman year to senior year, yeah, you can tell like my sophomore year, I did a whole 360 because it was dean's list, dean's list, dean's list. You can tell I did not want to be at school. So since I'm starting this journey a little later in life, I'm looking to apply for an accelerated BSN program. They're going through a 4-year program and having to go on campus and stuff like that. They have accelerated programs now where they're online. You can get your nursing degree in a year, 15 months, 18 months. Just depends on how quick you can get through the program. I have a school in mind. I'm praying and hoping in the name of Jesus I get in. You have 2 other options that will, that I'll apply for as well. So basically I'm taking my science classes now because obviously with medicine, you have to learn the science behind everything. So I am taking anatomy and physiology and microbiology. Then I got to take chemistry, nutrition. So I have to take classes first before applying into the program that I'm trying to get into. So yeah, some prerequisite classes that I did in undergrad that I can use as my credits. So once I get half of my credits that I need, then I can apply for the program. I can start next year, and then I'll continue on my classes while doing my nursing classes. But they have to see that I'm taking and passing my prerequisite classes before getting accepted into the program. It's like, once I get into the program, then I will start my nursing journey from there, and however long or however short it takes me, I don't care. I am locking in, because like I said, there's no shortcuts on this journey. This is the quickest way to go about it, so that way I can go ahead and study for the NCLEX, pass that. I want to get into labor and delivery. All my births, I've had midwives, and I loved all my midwives. They were amazing. But I also remember the labor and delivery nurses as well, like, just checking in, taking care of us. Even when they took the baby, they take the baby, they'll come around and ask like, hey, do you need to take a nap? We'll take the baby. I'm like, but I trusted them to do that. And I'm just like, oh, I would love to do that. If I'm done having kids, Lord, I want to give back to women. I want to give back to moms, because, we have a new generation of women that are growing up and they're going to have babies. Friends and know people that are going to be having babies in their 40s, 50s. Childbirth will forever be around. I want women to have beautiful births. Like, yes, childbirth, it can be scary. And it's because of the stats. It's because we hear people's negative experiences. It's because we see the things on the news and, Black maternal health. Like, yes, there are negatives with everything that we encounter in this life. We are not exempt from any troubles. But if we as women are called to bring forth life, that's what God created us to do. I want to make sure women are able to do it in a healthy way. And that's what I'm just so excited about this journey. So I have a long road ahead, y'all. And I'm just like, God, why this late in life? Why this late? Like I said, I have 2 degrees. I have been a stay-at-home wife and mom this whole time. I'm just like, this life journey, especially after having my baby boy, I just realized where my passion truly lies. And it's definitely in motherhood, but also childbirth, because, childbirth is something that we are so blessed as women to experience and to go through. And I just want to make sure every woman has a beautiful experience so we can make childbirth beautiful again, y'all. I have a long road ahead of me, but I am about to be locked in. I'm trying to find this balance. So even with studying, like I said, I haven't studied in so long. So I got my index cards here, books over there, really trying to be locked in. Right now it's summer break, so I'm with the kids and we're busy and stuff like that. But once school starts and I have a better balance, we locked in. I would like to see how I go about my studying, how I study, my routine, balancing life as a mom of 3. I'm going back to school to become a nurse on my journey to midwifery. Ooh, that sounds a lot. Let me know in the comments, and I got you, girl, because this is my new reality. This is my new norm, and y'all been rocking me all these years. Y'all have seen the ups and downs, seen the different stages of my life, and this is just another one that I'm about to embark on. And through the good and bad, I just want to be real with y'all. Encouragement for anyone out there who feels behind in life. Heck, like I've seen, as a content creator, like I've seen people quit their 9 to 5. They were teachers, they were doctors, they were engineers, they were this and that. Then they quit their job to become influencers and content creators. Me, I didn't quit a job. I was after school, I was trying to get back in corporate America and find a big girl job. It just didn't happen this way. Now I'm about to go back to school, and then I will have an official career, Lord's willing. But at the same time, like, although I feel behind in life sometimes, I know that God's timing is always perfect, because I'm approaching 40 now, and it's just like, wow, like, you're not behind, Chrissy. You are right where you're supposed to be. And life is about to get really good for you. Okay, you're about to feel so much purpose, but your best days are still ahead for you, Chrissy. And your love and purpose for motherhood and childbirth is still there. And now you're taking this leap of faith to pursue it in a way that is going to not only serve women, but it's going to help women from the beginning. That's purpose right there. Serving people, loving people, and being there for people. That's your love language, acts of service, you know. So that would be my gift to give back to women, is to give them healthy births. And I'm willing to go no matter how long it takes or how far I go in this journey. We are locked in and we're going to get it done. But I am not behind in life. I may be doing things a little late in life, but I'm not behind. Think about your husband. You know, he got married in his 30s and he had his third child in his 40s. He had his third child at 42? So, you know, look at your husband. He's a prime example of it's not too late. So I hope this was an encouragement to you as well, that it's never too late to start over. It's not too late to pursue something. Don't be afraid to pivot. There's a book by Brianna Weist, The Power of Pivot. I think that's what it is. It's in my Amazon cart because I want to get it on Kindle. That's going to be my next monthly read, because I have to come to terms that it's okay to pivot. I mean, doesn't mean I'm going to pivot away from consecration, stuff like that. No. But of course, once I become a midwife, you know, I can't show, you know, because of HIPAA laws and, you know, privacy reasons, I can't, you know, show everything. Journey to become that. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you guys. You know, if you want to pursue another degree, go for it. In America, they can take our cars, they can take our house, they can take our weave if they wanted to. One thing they can never take from us is our education. You know, with the way things are, how important education is. And that's one thing that your education is something that no one can take from you. So it doesn't matter how many degrees you get or how many degrees you want to get. Those are yours forever. Education is key. Oh yes, y'all. So cheers to a new beginning. Or if you are a nurse or a midwife, let me know in the comments. Let me know the path you went on. How long did it take you? Give me all the studying tips, because when I look at my lessons, I'm like, how am I supposed to remember all these atoms and nucleus and child? So y'all see why I be MIA, because the way my brain be working. Sis, give me all the studying tips and everything I need to succeed at this. And once I apply, because I'm praying to God, one school that I am in contact with, they've been, you know, reaching out to me, you know, just making sure I'm on the right path. So when I apply, you know, things work out and everything. So I'm praying in the name of Jesus that I will get into this ABSN program that I want to get in. 3 different options that I'm going to be applying for. And yeah, so wish me luck with that. On the comments, any study tips, anything I need to know, anything I need to learn, because we got a purpose to fulfill, we got lives to change, and we got lives to save in the process of bringing forth life. Okay, so stay tuned for that journey, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't be afraid to start over, y'all. Don't be afraid. It's never too late. God only gave us one life, and what we do with that, as long as it's according to His will, obey that calling. And I promise you, it's all going to work out in the end of the day. Let it all work out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Peace.